The battlefield had grown quiet again. No plasma fire. No metal groans. No footsteps. Except hers. Dragging. Slow. Through the mud. Serenya stood beside the fallen mech beast, its massive frame leaking sparks and smoke. Like a dying god. Her hands trembled. Not from fear anymore. But from something heavier. What now? The silence pressed harder than the battle ever had. She turned to leave. But stopped. Something flickered. Faint. Blue. Beneath the warden's ruined chest. She stepped closer. Carefully. A panel had been torn open. Maybe by her blade. Maybe by the beast's death convulsions. Inside, tangled in wires and broken tech, was a transmitter core. But not human. Her breath caught. It was elven. Old. Dusty. Dented. But glowing. Her heart kicked. She wiped away the mud. Touched the rune plate on its side. Tapped. Nothing. Then. A flicker. Then static. Then. A voice. Fragmented. Broken. Echoing, like it came from the edge of the stars. If anyone survives the fall of Sector 12. This is Commander Tereth Velis. Of the Elyndran outer wall. We are scattered. Coordinates attached. Resistance still breathes. Do not surrender the flame. Serenya gasped, Tereth Velis. Her father's old war companion. A survivor? A resistance? The message repeated. Clearer. A location flashed on the screen. Far north. Beyond the Rift Mountains. But reachable. And more than that. It was hope. She looked to the sky. Once, her people believed. Each soul returned to the stars. When it died. Tonight, she hoped the stars were watching. That they saw her. That they knew. She hadn't stopped. She wouldn't stop. She sat beside the transmitter. Mud clung to her legs. Her fingers were numb. Her voice cracked as she spoke. But she didn't hide it. This is Serenya of House Verlin. Last shield of the inner court. Sector 12 has fallen. But one flame still burns. I will reach you. You are not alone. She sent it. Not knowing if anyone would hear. But she had to try. She stood again. Scavenging what she could from the warden's corpse. A fusion torch. An energy shard. Still warm. Enough for the cold nights ahead. And something else. Unexpected. A hologram core. She held it in her palm. Paused. Then activated it. A recording sparked to life midair. A human commander's face. Cold. Sharp. Emotionless. He spoke, target Sector 12 eliminated. All elven resistance neutralized. Continue purification protocol. Collect surviving DNA. For Project Inheritance. Her blood turned to ice. They weren't just killing her people. They were harvesting them. Copying. Corrupting. Stealing. This wasn't war. This was desecration. Her jaw clenched. She crushed the core in her palm. You won't steal us. You won't erase us. Not while I breathe. She turned north. The wind rose with her. Stronger. Carrying something new. Not smoke. Not memory. Sound. Engines. But not human. Not mech, something different. Her eyes narrowed. There. On the horizon. Small blinking lights in the sky. Ships. Not warships. Not drones. Refugees? Scouts? Survivors? Whatever they were. They were coming. Had they seen her signal? Had she started something? Was she not the last? She gripped her sword tighter, stared into the rising wind, and took her first step toward the unknown. Above her, the sky shimmered, not with flame, but with possibility, and beneath it, the last daughter of Elyndra walked forward. Not as prey, not as memory, but as fire reborn. The mountains of the north loomed like stone sentinels, jagged peaks carved by ancient winds and older wars. Days had passed. Maybe more. Time bled strangely in a world where no sun dared rise anymore. Serenya moved like myth through the dying wilds, cloaked in a torn cape, scavenged from an old Elyndran banner. Her feet, bruised. Her sword, worn smooth by the endless grip of grief and will. Yet her steps were steady. Her heart beat with purpose again. The transmitter beacon pulsed at her hip. A soft blue glow, blinking every few seconds, guiding her closer to the coordinates. And the closer she walked, the more signs she saw. Elven etchings, scorched into fallen bark. Footprints, small, light. Not made by machines. And once, just once, a pile of broken human drone husks, ripped apart with the precision only her kin could manage. She wasn't alone. Not anymore. On the seventh night, she crested a ridge beyond a shattered cliff. And froze. Below her, a valley, nestled in the shadow of the mountains, glowed with light. Not fire. Not destruction. Warm, golden, light. Figures moved below. Hundreds of them. Cooking fires flickering, tents built from salvaged shipwrecks. Armor glinting in the starlight. Laughter. Elves. Hundreds of them. A voice whispered in her mind. Not memory. Not illusion. Truth. You brought us back. She stumbled down the slope. Hands trembling. Eyes wet. Heart racing. Before she reached the valley floor, a scout spotted her. The alarm did not rise. No weapons drawn. Only silence. Gasps. Eyes wide. Hands over mouths. Then, a figure stepped forward. Tall. Weathered. Braided white hair streaked with starlight. Commander Tereth Velis. He hadn't died. He hadn't fled. He'd waited. And now, he walked toward her. Eyes wet. But burning. Serenya Verlin, he whispered. We thought you were gone. She dropped to one knee. I almost was. He lifted her gently. Not today. That night, beneath real stars and warm blankets, Serenya sat beside the fire. And she told her story. She told them of the fall of the court. Of Lyriel. Of the mech beast. Of the message. Of the human lie. That Elyndra had been erased. And the crowd listened. Not with despair. Not with fear. But with fire in their eyes. And then, they rose. Not in panic. Not in grief. But in purpose. Plans were laid. Not for revenge. But for resistance. For remembrance. For rebirth. Names were spoken. Not of kings. Not of houses. But of fighters. Of flames that refused to die. And when the night deepened, Serenya stood before them all. Her armor, cleaned. Her blade, reforged. She stepped into the firelight. Voice clear. Eyes burning. And spoke. They thought we were stories. They thought they'd buried us. But the flame remembers. She raised her sword to the sky. And hundreds followed.